then I might swerve, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swerve, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Georges Michel.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome back, guys.
Hello.
I think this is episode 9.
Yes, episode 9.
I guess just a quick recap of the last 2 weeks. I feel like nothing has really happened.
Yeah. I think we've just been very tired.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't been sleeping at all.
Yeah, it was at least the last week has been a really bad week of sleep for us.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I guess since the last episode, which a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people liked the last episode.
Yeah. We really appreciate the saps coming, and I guess a lot of you guys appreciated them sharing their story about my Austie. And I mean, if you saw her now, you would never know, like,
she was a super preemie.
Yeah, that she was a super preemie, and I don't think that's the term. I think it's
not.
Micro.
I just made that up. Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, now she's jumping around, running around, talking. She knows like pandas and different animals. If you show her numbers, she knows all that stuff. So it's just interesting and cool to see them grow. You know?
Yeah. And if you didn't hear the story, I'd recommend going back and listening to our last episode. We had another young couple on, and they just kind of talked about their journey with their 2 daughters. Both were preemies, but one was really early on. So I definitely recommend going back and listening to that one. And
they were actually here.
Yeah,
they were here.
It was probably like the day after.
Was it?
I feel like it.
No, it was like a week later.
Oh, it was a week later? Oh,
yeah, we clearly have
man.
not been sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were here a week later because we had a pool party.
Yeah, so for I coach basketball, for people that know, and just kind of like to end the season, we had a pool party at the house.
Yeah.
I think it was about 12 high school, boys, wild boys. Craziness.
They have fun though.
Yeah. I know they definitely appreciate it. I mean, I appreciated just having them over.
Yeah, it was nice.
Just kind of a nice way to cap off our season, and
especially since most of them are seniors.
Yeah. So
you're gonna send them off into the wild world.
Yeah. And I also had another. I keep track of all my kids. Like after they leave, I had another college graduate this week.
Oh yeah.
So congratulations to Sam. He graduated from my alma mater, USF, this week.
Yeah.
So that's always cool when I get to see that. But yeah, I think not much has gone on.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing like a lot of things that we're probably not sharing yet.
Yeah. Behind
the scenes that we're working on, with actually one of our guests.
Yeah.
In this episode, so maybe we'll share it later on, like down the road. And just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Typical things.
And so since, I mean, you guys are here later, like, we had a nice long interview with our guest. So we're going to keep the hot topic kind of short too.
Yeah.
And we'll just really get right into it. So.
All right.
I think that's it. Let's get right into the hot topic.
So hot in her. So hot in.
All right, what are we talking about today?
I mean, what everybody's been talking about. Let's get into this Kanye thing. What are your thoughts on exactly what's been going on
with him?
I mean,
my thoughts. I was telling somebody this the other day, actually at that women's event, the networking event, that like Kanye, and this was before any of this came out, that I do think that Kanye is like a smart individual, like could be a genius almost, like those
musical genius. Let's just limit it.
Yeah, like genius to what he does. You know what I mean? I feel like he would be one of those like weird kids in high school that
he
like
was, I think.
Probably. I mean, I don't know his whole story, but I'm just saying like the people that like think so outside the box that you think they're weird, but really, you know, they're just thinking outside the box to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he's one of those people. But when it came to... Okay, so I saw the interview with Charlemagne first.
Yeah.
And then obviously that was like a few weeks before or a month before
everything
like
came out. Just like a week before.
Oh, okay. That it came out with the TMZ thing. And I was trying to follow along on the interview with Charlemagne. I didn't really get it. Like at first I was like, okay, you're just trying to like think even more outside the box, but it's not making sense at all. I can't make sense of because something that doesn't make sense.
He's not making sense.
And then it just ended like so weird. Like there were a lot of questions he stumbled on or did not answer or like took a long pause.
He was definitely ducking the question.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, so what is the point of this interview? Like I just don't get it. And then when the TMZ thing happened, I was like, oh no, he lost his mind. Like he lost his mind.
Kris Jenner is definitely working overtime this week. Like
is that his new management? Because that's what some people have said.
I wouldn't be surprised. Like it all makes sense. Like he's living in the Truman Show, in my opinion. Like, and Kris Jenner got her finger on the button right now. I mean, I can't make. There's no other way to make sense of the Kanye that we all grew up to know or remember.
And I think even that Kanye was a little off the chain. Like,
but he was
wilding, but he's just wilding on another level.
Like the whole concept of him, like supporting Trump is all rooted in like ignorance. Not ignorance. Like he doesn't even know Trump's policies or anything like that. So it's like, what exactly are you supporting? Because I feel like just because he made up a narrative in his head like, oh, Trump's an underdog, I'm an underdog.
Right.
And he figures like, that's enough. I'm just running with it. MAGA hat and all. Like, I'm just like, you can't. I think part of the problem, we give these people too much credit.
Who's these people?
Like celebrities. Like, the fact that people are so up in arms about what he's saying. And like, I don't think it's going to change anything. It's just, I feel like people need to watch him. Like, I feel like he's almost close to the edge.
Yeah, I mean, he said that he wasn't taking his medication that he's supposed to be taking or something. I forgot what it was exactly. So I think in that regard, like we should be worried, you know, or like his family or his wife or whatever should definitely have that on lock. And not let him just have random outbursts like this, unless it is a marketing tactic.
Oh no, Kris Jenner set this all up. She planted Van Lathan at TMZ to
she planted him.
Planted. Kris Jenner is a marketing genius, and there's no other way to put this than this is like the ultimate marketing strategy for the album, which I think is not going to be good. I really think the album going to be trash. Honestly,
is he working on an album?
Yeah, he has a date and everything.
Interesting.
It's going to be trash. And I think people are going to listen out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Because it's Kanye.
See what you're talking about.
But.
And I mean, people can vote for who they want to vote for, support who they want to support, but at least know why. Like, if that's your reason to just support somebody just because, like, oh, he was a celebrity and he became a president. So that means I could become a president. Like,
it's not a good enough reason to support somebody. And that's what he's basing his whole thing off of. And he doesn't understand why people are so up in arms about his stance. Which makes me it shows even more like he's just not connected.
Yeah.
He has no
That's
clue
all it is.
What's going on. And I mean, I can't imagine being that rich that you don't know what's going on.
Yeah. I mean, you see who his in-laws are. So I get it.
When Charlemagne asked him, like, are you scared of Kris Jenner or do you trust Kris Jenner?
He said, do you trust your in-laws?
You know what he meant. Yeah. He wasn't asking about Bruce Caitlin. He was asking about Kris. And
he was like, awkward silence. Like,
and that was, to me, that was the most
that was
thing.
It.
I was like,
oh shoot.
Yeah. He in a sunken place.
Yeah.
She's staring at, so.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
So. That and like the if slavery was a choice statement.
I think that should be a good reason as to like why people are upset. If people are just upset because of the MAGA hat picture, I feel like it is what it is. Like, even if he didn't vote for Trump or doesn't support Trump, he probably was friends with Trump before he was president. You know what I mean?
He might have been.
Just because of like their status. So I wouldn't be mad about a picture. But if you're saying like slavery was a choice, that's something to be upset about.
Yeah, he's losing it. Like, yeah. He's losing it. And then, I mean, I guess, you know, out of all sad moments comes Black Twitter. And they took that if slavery was a choice hashtag and ran with it.
Yeah, everything is a joke.
And I mean, I'm here for it. I'm here for jokes. That had to be one of my favorite hashtags in the last couple of years. I would definitely suggest anybody go search that and run through those memes. It was class. I know I definitely got some good retweets and tweets off.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, it was a classic. I mean, I don't know if Ye's gonna have an album that we'd all want to support, but he's definitely doing what he has to do to get eyes and ears.
Yeah, because he was quiet on Twitter for a long time.
Yeah, I think it's been over a year.
This just came out of nowhere. So, I mean, there's a reason for everything.
Yeah, I'm not falling into that trap. It's a trap.
He's trying to get streams. It's a trap. You know, I get it. I get it.
So, yeah. I think that should be enough, right? For the hot topic.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Do you have something else?
Oh, one more thing. Just a flashback. Not flashback, but for one of our first couple episodes, we talked about Rachel Dolezal and how we spoke about when the trailer came out for the Netflix special.
Well, it's out.
The Netflix special is out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about it too much. Just go watch it. And
let us know what you think.
And let me see if you're less confused than I am now, because I don't see the point. I was excited to watch it.
Yeah,
it was a waste of an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah, it was long. It was long.
Yeah,
like for no reason.
I never saw somebody take that long to say nothing.
Yeah.
So,
and then the ending was just so weird. Like, yeah, you guys watch it. Let us know what you think.
I think it definitely. No, I can't even say it's good. It brings up good conversation because it doesn't. Mm-hmm. I think she's completely confused, and I don't even want to waste more time talking about it, honestly. But yeah, I just wanted to bring it back up because we did talk about the trailer, but now it's out. So go check it out if you want to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This the real one, baby. I'm telling you. Chi-Town stand up. Southside, we gon' set this party off right. Westside, we gon' set this party off right.
Alright guys, so this is the Michel Matter portion of the podcast. And as you know, we're doing the parenting series. So our guests today are very near and dear to me.
Not near, they're far.
Well, yes.
They're very far.
Yes, we literally just took a trip to come here.
I packed a bag just to make the trip.
So we are with Georges and Chandra Etienne. They're my cousins. Basically, growing up, Georges was like one of my brothers. And he met and married the beautiful Chandra, and we've, known each other since. I think actually I went through my Twitter and I saw the first Twitter conversation we had.
Really?
In 2011.
What?
Oh,
yeah. So we've been trucking ever since. She helped us buy our home and everything.
Yes.
So
That's right.
here we are, Chandra and Georges.
What up,
everyone?
How are you?
Good. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
So real quick, I guess introduce yourselves and what do people want to know? I guess they want to know what you do for a living, how you met. Yeah. Everybody likes that story.
How you met. Yeah, let's start with how you met.
And I love to hear the difference in story because nobody tells the same story.
Boy.
So, how did y'all meet?
Ladies first. Go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Okay, well, we met in college, and
introduce yourself first.
Oh,
who are you?
All right, thanks, George. All right, well, Chandra. My name is Chandra, and I met my husband George in college. I was starting my junior year, and you were finishing your senior year, basically. So yeah, met in college. He was an alpha and very extra on campus. He was the chapter president, and he was doing the most. But basically, we met on campus because we shared a friend, Alejandro, and that's how I met George, through Alejandro, basically. In college.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Georges Etienne. I am a graphic and web designer. Like my wife just said, we met each other in college.
FIU?
At FIU.
FIU.
Go Panthers. I don't know where she's coming from with the whole me being extra.
Oh, you were extra. He had a monkey in his book bag.
I
like
was
a
elite.
stuffed
No, I
monkey
remember
in his
that.
book bag.
He had a
That's
monkey
extra.
like
Smitty.
Twitter or something.
Smitty.
Or
It was named Smitty.
Hey, man. You gotta represent.
Hey, it did its job. It got your attention, right?
Oh,
There we
There
go.
you go.
There
Now
we
look
go.
at you.
It served its
Oh,
purpose. It served its
gosh.
purpose. Outside of that, I was leading the black youth. Okay, I was an outstanding gentleman on campus, and I was a
he
leader.
was all right. He was all right.
But
Been through life.
And we do also have Dom here.
Yes. he
So
was.
if you hear him, that's who that is.
turning our mic volume down. Already.
Yeah, there you go.
Good right now.
I think he
But,
sees the red light and he's just
yeah.
like intrigued.
Met each other on campus. Fast forward, here we are, married with our 18-month-old Dominic, and we have another one in the oven. That's we're expecting him in early August. So.
Nice. So, okay, you guys are both entrepreneurs.
Yes.
How did you guys, or what did you guys do before, being on this career track?
Well, okay, so I didn't say this before, but I'm a realtor, and before I got involved in real estate, I was really young. So I got into real estate when I was 20. My mom is a real estate broker, and she's been a broker for about 30 years. So it was a very easy transition for me. But before then, the last job I had, as far as being employed by somebody, I was a hostess at P.F. Chang's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I was just a regular college student, regular job. Then before that, I think I did telemarketing or something. Yeah, like nothing glamorous, just regular jobs that young people get, while in college. So.
But seeing your mom in that career also probably was an easier transition.
Yeah, for sure. Very easy to be interested in it, and it was a very easy thing to get into when she started asking for my help and told me to quit my job. And I was just like, I'm gonna quit my job. So that was really easy. And my dad being an entrepreneur as well, it was just a very natural thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, George?
Well, I went to college and studied information technology, as well as management information systems. And I worked in the IT industry for about, let's say, 7 to 8 years. And it wasn't really going as fast as I thought it would go. When I say fast, I meant as far as me climbing up the ladder. I kept hearing the same thing from everyone, like, hey, if you want to get further in the IT industry, you got to move to DC, move to New York, move to Cali. And I'm like, I really don't want to leave. But on the side, I was always into graphic arts. Since I was a kid, I was always drawing and doodling. And I remember clearly drawing all 28 at the time NBA team logos and hanging them up in my room. I used to draw shoes. So it was always a talent that I had, and I kind of buried it for a while. But then while I was in college, I started to kind of venture into the entrepreneur route. I stumbled upon an illegal copy of Photoshop. And
Haven't we all?
You just stumbled upon it? That's how it happened?
When I say I stumbled, not just one copy, several copies from another country.
Multi-language.
And I started selling them online. And
Nice.
I remember making at one point $2,000 in a week.
Wow.
And that was like my first taste of like, okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I see this whole working for myself and doing my own thing. But since I was selling Photoshop, I kept a copy for myself, started messing around with it.
Yeah.
And then the graphic arts in me kind of came back, and that's when I learned the software, and I really became good at it. And from there, I got into all the other Adobe Creative Suite software like Illustrator and InDesign, and I perfected my craft over the years. And in 2015, after so many months and so many long drives from South Miami to Pines, I decided, you know what, I've got enough clientele that I built from working on the side, where I'm gonna just take a leap and do this thing on my own, and it's been going well ever since.
Nice.
Did you have like any fear? Because as
the
husband, I know it's like you feel a responsibility to like provide, and that's a scary situation. So like, what was because it's probably something that was in you for a while. Like, I don't want to work here anymore. Like, when was like that moment? Like, all right, you know what? That's it.
Yeah,
was it like
that leap?
Was it like, you know what? Somebody made you mad at work, or you're like, nah, like. Well, I had a good week this week. I think I could keep doing this.
I think what really got to me was I'm not going to say who I worked for because this is public.
Yeah,
whatever,
give them no shout out.
I was moved from one department to another, and this new department that I was working in was awful, like terrible. They ran myself and the other two IT workers like to the ground. Nothing was ever organized. Things were never projects that we would work on. Like they couldn't finish like before they gave us a new one and a new one and a new one, and just that type of stress just got to me. Plus the long drive, and it just, I guess that was the beginning of my feeling of I need to get out of here. And then I had the thought process of, all right, if I get out of here, and then what? Go somewhere else, do the same thing all over again, start all over, build a whole new rapport. Because by then I had already been at the company for 3.5 years. And at the time, I told myself, whatever company I'm working for, I want to stay. I want to stay for 10 years, build, my 401k, all that good stuff. And I'm like, man, leave and start all over again. But at the time, we were living with her mom. So we kind of had that cushion as far as, all right, we don't have to worry about rent. We didn't have to pay rent. So because of that, that's what made it a little easier to, jump ship. But I had a lot of fear. The fear of what if I do this and I fail? You know what I mean? And again, I was in the IT industry, which moves very, very quickly. So if I spend a year out trying to get back in, the technology has already moved on tenfold. So what do I have to offer to a new job? What can I tell them at a job interview?
Yeah. So even like
no, I was gonna say, because like what you said, George, building like a 401k, or like a lot of jobs provide health insurance and all of that stuff. So of course you're kind of fending for yourselves as adults, but then you have a baby. So how have you guys made all of that work in the midst of having a baby as well?
If it wasn't for family, it would be a lot harder for us. Like a lot of our friends and family, a lot of our friends mainly will ask, like why we live so far, really far, like what you guys are saying, whatever. Because we lived in Broward before. But honestly, once we realized, okay, we're about to have our first kid and have our own family, we need to be around people who are going to help us. So if it wasn't for us being down here in South Miami and being close to my mom and all of that, I don't know how else.
I mean, I think we'd be able to
do it, but not. We've been blessed with a support system that has made it a lot easier for us to maneuver the way that we do.
Because he came after I had already quit and started the whole.
So. And it was really stressful at first because, like you were saying, with like health insurance and stuff like that, like we're not getting insurance through our employers or anything like that. So we were paying. Well, I don't even know if I want to say how much I was paying for insurance just for myself.
It
was
out of pocket.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely ridiculous. The premium that that I was paying while pregnant and afterwards, it was insane. So
So I just want to back up just a little bit, because what you guys said about family is like, it is really important. And I think something that a lot of people, I don't know, you know how like young people are, we're very like try to be self-sufficient. one thing you guys did was like you stayed with your parents.
Oh yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Now that's something that most people would be like, what? No. Why would I want to stay with my parents? Like, how do you feel like that helped you in like getting to where you guys are now? Because, I mean, both did quit your jobs. Like, how important or helpful was that staying with your mom before?
I mean, very helpful. We moved in with her parents literally right after we got married.
Yeah, like what, a month after?
Like a month after.
Yeah.
I mean, the wedding, like as you guys know, it's expensive. It's not cheap.
We paid for it ourselves.
Yeah. And, so I mean, could we have stayed on our own? We could have, but we just thought to ourselves, hey, let's just do this for our financial gain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For, so we can get back on our feet, after spending so much. Now let's kind of rebuild.
Yeah.
And again, we had a support, or still do have a support system. We have a support system that's willing to help. When you have that support system, whether it's family or a close friend or whoever it is, that can really it'll carry you a long way.
Yeah,
for
sure.
So
I think it's just good to see like different options, because I think people just have like this one mindset of how things should go, like once you're married and stuff like that. But like, especially people that you like, because you guys to me are successful, right? Like I follow y'all on social media, y'all hashtag goals, stuff like that. Like, so, but people don't always know the whole story and like the different sacrifices. Like people just see the end product.
Yeah, I think it happens overnight.
Yeah, I know it probably wasn't like the most convenient thing, but
no,
definitely not. When George mentioned like, we should.
She didn't want to do it at
first. Oh my gosh,
she did not. She's like, no way,
no, and
I'm not going back.
I have been living by myself for years. Me and George didn't even move in with each other until after we got engaged.
Right.
So, for me to now have been living by myself, and then now I'm with my fiance, and now we're husband and wife, and all of a sudden he's like, you know what, we should probably move in with your mom. And I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. No.
Yeah.
But it was a very good thing. That we did that. We definitely were able to get back on our feet. And honestly, I do believe that's also what definitely, like what you were saying, definitely helped him to make that transition to entrepreneurship. Because if it wasn't for that, if we had other financial responsibilities on top of you going to work and stuff like that with your previous job, he wouldn't have quit as easily, So,
and like you said, Ja, too, a lot of people think that there's just a one-track way
definitely not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't want to speak for every marriage and everybody, but for most, it's not. You know what I mean? Like things happen, whether it happens right in the beginning, right in the middle, right in the end. Like things like we can never remember. I'm pretty sure all of us growing up, we had that one random aunt or auntie or grandma all of a sudden moves in, and we never knew the whole story. But later on, we talked to our parents, and they tell us, well, they were having tough times, or a divorce happened, or they ended up having kids and they lost the house and this, and life just happens,
right?
And like I mentioned, support system is so important. Huge. Unfortunately, not everybody has a support system.
Yeah.
But fortunately we do, and we've always said that we've been blessed, to have that support system. And if it's there, man, use it, take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Because even the richest of the rich, look at Donald Trump. Look how he started. His dad gave him $1 million.
Must be nice.
But still, it's a support system. Somebody was there to pass it along, and that's what we plan to do with these two guys. That when they're ready to either go off to college or venture into their entrepreneur system, we want to make sure, hey, we give you that same support system we had.
So is that like the plan? Like you both are entrepreneurs. You're raising, two young kings.
You're okay.
I'm not gonna. So much entertainment, but like, is that the plan to raise them to want to be entrepreneurs, or?
I don't care about what they do as long as they're not hurting themselves or other people, right? Yeah. I do think that to be an entrepreneur, it needs to be something that is in you, and you have to want to do it for the right reasons. So I'm not going to push them to be entrepreneurs because it's not a life that's for everybody. It's not a lifestyle meant for everybody, and it's not very easy. So if they end up, with great jobs and, in respective fields that they love or whatever, then I'm all for it. Okay. But I'm not going to push them to be entrepreneurs.
I always tell people who ask me like, oh, I want to become an entrepreneur too. What do you say? And I always tell people like, hey, this is like you just mentioned, it's not for everybody. And if you've got a great cushy job, you've got the corner office, you got a great 401k package, and the work is generally easy for you. I'm like, why? I'm not going to tell you to quit. If you've got a job that's non-stressful and they're treating you right, I'm like, stay there. I mean,
my question always is, why do you want to be an entrepreneur?
So we're not going to push that on them as well. Whatever it is that they want to do.
Yeah.
If they want to go an entrepreneur route, if they want to do the traditional, go to college, go here. If they want to, I don't know, become a comedian.
Right.
Whatever.
Yeah. Be artists.
Whatever.
Okay.
We're in the USA. There's too many opportunities
right.
there. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this next generation of Haitian American kids are going to grow up.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like the first generation that don't have to be doctor, avocat.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Nurses.
And imagine, I went to school to be avocat. Okay. So I thought I was going to be an avocat.
I actually knew a few people who became lawyers, passed the bar, everything,
And
worked for a couple
they don't
years,
even do
and they
that.
quit.
Yeah.
They said they hated it.
Anymore.
They said they hated it. And it's just like, and you're in $100,000 of debt now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so.
Yeah.
I feel like this generation is going to be great. I hope.
Yeah.
We hope.
It's already starting.
It's looking.
I mean, just go on social media. Every Haitian account is just we are winning right now.
Yeah.
We winning. So.
All right. So let's talk pregnancy. Right?
Oh, Lord.
So Dom is almost 2.
Yeah. So
Right?
he's 19 months now.
Okay. And you're gonna give birth again this year.
Yes.
So have your pregnancies felt similar to each other so far?
Very
Okay.
different. You see, with Dom, I knew I was pregnant before we were even able to get confirmation we were pregnant. And I felt like it was just a longer process. I wasn't as sick with him. It was good. They're both very different, but I experienced very good pregnancies.
Okay.
But this time I was very sick. I think I'm a lot bigger this time. And Elijah moves around like crazy. He's moving all the time, kicking all the time. Dom was definitely a lot more calm and chill. I eat a lot more this time. It feels completely different.
She's like, I feel bigger. I'm like,
well, in my stomach, my stomach is bigger.
Okay.
I look exactly the same everywhere
Yeah.
else, but yeah. But the experience feels different, but not in a negative way.
Yeah.
I still enjoy pregnancy. I think it's amazing. I thoroughly enjoy it. So, but yeah.
Have you noticed the difference in the pregnancies, George?
A little bit. I feel bad for saying this, but I haven't been paying attention too much to this one.
I'll edit that out.
It's happening really quick. I get it though. Like it's happening really fast.
I do feel like it's fast.
Before it was just me and her. So
Yeah.
when she had the belly every day, I'm kissing the belly. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now we got this guy running around. The businesses are just kind of, really doing well.
Right.
And it's just, life is just happening. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, like we had to stop, I think was it yesterday, to think and go, wait, you're 7 months already?
Yeah.
And we had to really think like, where has the time
snap.
gone?
Like I had to go and like finish the registry. I was like, I should probably finish the registry. We should probably figure out if we're actually gonna do a little something,
Right.
because it's just going by so fast.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I noticed some of the differences, but for the most part, like it's just going by so fast. Like I don't think I've had enough time to really enjoy it. You know what I mean? Like I feel bad sometimes. Like I really have to sit down, certain nights to kiss the belly and be like, hey,
Take that pause.
I definitely haven't done it as much as I did it with him.
Yeah.
Definitely haven't.
But I think too, I'm a lot more active this time too. Like
Yeah.
I'm up and going a lot more for some reason. My energy level's a lot higher. It just feels different.
Yeah, you were knocked out with him. Every
Oh
day.
yeah. Oh yeah. With Dom, like 4:00, I'm in bed. I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow.
I used to get so upset sometimes. Like I turn around and it's 3:00. I'm like, why are you sleeping? Like I know you're pregnant, but geez.
I can't help it. It's not my fault.
No, I know, but at times it was just like, all right.
Okay.
How much different is marriage during pregnancy? Like, as far as like, I mean, I'm not trying to get too personal, but like,
It's fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, you know,
there are some things I don't want to know.
yeah,
Talking about intimacy?
a little bit. Like, I mean, you know, you pregnant, so I know things happen. Like, but
yeah, it's like there's no fear. It's like, well, I'm pregnant already. So
I mean, I think the biggest change or the biggest adjustment comes later on in pregnancy when
that belly's in the way.
Your belly's
The belly's in the way.
all right, yeah, that was more than I expected. But yeah,
The belly's in the way.
But other than that,
Other than that, it's pretty the same.
but like,
If I don't want to be too
oh boy.
too much, it's awesome. Like 10 times more awesome because of physical changes. But towards the end of the pregnancy, like it does, that belly's in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George
Can't do
gets
much.
scared.
I personally
feel that makes sense.
now, what about like the delivery process? Are you expecting like the same outcome, like how you delivered
No.
Dom?
So with Dom, we delivered in a hospital.
Mm-hmm.
This time we're going to be birthing at a birthing center and
nice.
doing the natural route with the water birth and midwives and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I would expect that it's going to be a lot different.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that my labor is a lot shorter. With Dom, I was in labor, 34, 36 hours and like 17 hours of like active labor. It was intense.
Wow.
So this time I'm praying that it's a lot shorter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you watched any videos?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because Jackie made me watch some.
I already experienced it, and he saw it firsthand already. So
you experienced somebody else having birth in water like that?
Oh, in the water?
Yeah, like all of that.
No, but I've been in the delivery room for a friend who delivered naturally, no drugs, no nothing.
Yeah.
And I saw how that was.
Because I watched a video and this lady gave birth and it like fell out. Like,
it slips right out, even without the water. It just slips right out.
I'm all for it, man. Like after the hospital experience, and I would say, you know, when he was in the womb, I mean, we learned so much about the healthcare system and insurance and why everything works the way that it works, and then you find out there's so much shady stuff going on, you know, within the healthcare system. Health wise, he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
It's such a weird position to fall asleep.
And health wise too. I mean, the natural route is just so much. It's so much better for the woman. When you hear about what's it called? Not PTSD. Postpartum syndrome. Like it's, you know, it's high among, you know, women who are, you know, giving birth at a hospital. C-section rates are incredibly crazy high at a hospital. Stillborns are crazy high at a hospital. And then you figure out why, and it's the medications, the wiring. I mean, when she was giving birth to Dom, I mean, there was at one point you were at 6 centimeters and she didn't move from 6 centimeters for 2 hours.
Wow.
And I remember that's when they started you might have to get a C-section because nothing's moving quick enough, yada yada. And I remember telling the nurse, like, hey, look, you know, why don't you have her just sit up? She's been laying in the bed. There's one thing I learned with watching the videos is when a woman's in labor, she has to be moving around. But it helps the baby come down. You have to be walking up and down. In a hospital, they tie you down. You've got 6 different needles going in you, and you're just sitting there.
And they're trying to get you out.
But everything that they're doing is counterproductive to what, you know, they want to get you in and out, but everything they're doing is making you just
they're treating it as a business.
Right. So I'm telling the nurse, like, yo, just have her sit up. She's been laying there. And they listen to me. Most of the time they won't. They actually listen to me. They sat her up. Within 30 minutes, she went from 6 to 8 centimeters.
Wow.
And it's just like, so that experience, man, and not to say it was a bad experience. Our hospital was actually very, very good. Our nurses were outstanding. This is at South Miami. You know, they were great. You know what I mean? But overall, doing it the natural way is just
do your research.
Right.
Yeah. Because I also believe that the natural route may not be for everyone, and birthing centers and that whole route may not be for everyone.
I think it is for everyone.
I think so. I mean, naturally it's for everyone because women were doing it for thousands.
There was a time where there was no
hospitals.
And we've been doing it for thousands of years.
Right. So of course, you know, yes, but at the same time, you know, we've been conditioned to think differently. And at the end of the day, when it comes to labor and child delivery and stuff, like a lot of it has to do with the mind frame and the state of mind that you're in. So if some people are not ready for that and not ready to accept that, then it's not the way for them to go. Yeah. So I would just suggest that everybody do their own research when it comes to that.
I think the one I made you launch was the one with Ricky Lake or something.
Oh, yes. The business of being born or something like that.
When they're like,
that's what opened our eyes.
She's not, an active labor. Let's give her Pitocin. Let's do this.
That's what they tried to do.
And it's like a back and forth.
They slowed down my contractions because they were going too fast. And then, they gave me a medication to slow down my contractions. And then all of a sudden I'm not moving. And they're like, okay, well, let's give you Pitocin to speed it up. And I'm just like, you guys just gave me something to slow it down.
Yeah.
And I always tell George, I'm like, imagine if they gave it to me. Like, how would my body have reacted to it? Like, would I have went into shock? Like, what would have happened?
Yeah.
Because it would have been, but that's, oh boy.
Well, I'm excited to hear this new delivery story.
With the water.
Yeah.
And the hospital doesn't let you eat either.
No.
I know the woman doesn't get to eat.
Oh, for that whole 20 whatever?
Yep.
I didn't eat for 2 days.
Well, like ice or something,
They
right?
just gave ice chips. I don't even know why they call it ice chips.
And they do that just in case there's a C-section. That way it's easy for them to cut.
Oh,
yeah.
See, I never knew why. I just thought they didn't want you to number 2.
So,
but they do it anyway.
To me, that by itself was like, I'm like, that's kind of torture, man. I mean, she has no energy. At least a piece of bread,
right?
A little piece of grill, something to get you.
You're the whole 34 hours.
Man.
Yeah,
and I'm sure the days before that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's go back to like the work part of this. Boy. So how do you? I'm guessing you work at home, mainly from home.
Yeah.
So how, do you stay focused with soon to be 2 babies at the house? Because I'm sure he's home with you right now, or unless he's at daycare.
We've been blessed with family again.
Yeah.
that are helping us. Okay. So during the day, at first he was with us every day.
That was hard.
That was really hard. I can't lie.
Sure
It's extremely hard. We had to take shifts. Remember, it was like, all right, you'll do your thing in the morning, and then I'll be with Dom and this and that. But lately, we've been very lucky where my cousin has been helping us out a lot. So 9 a.m., we're dropping him off.
Nice.
And she watches him all day, and we're able to work all day. And we just pick him up.
Fortunately, they live.
They just moved into our community.
The next building.
So we literally walk over and drop him off.
Cousin, her mom, next door.
Nice. So it's been...
So you guys take your walks and then take
Yes.
The videos
So that's why everybody
the videos that you see, it's
on
only
IG,
us walking him.
Yeah, so every morning we go on a walk and then we walk him over and
that's good because then you could, give him his food or like,
go
we
usually
throughout the
just
day.
take him with his food and Haitian grandmas, you probably keep
That's
so regardless, she's cooking
Yeah.
for him. Because I say South by Petit Loco whatever. So he's
not
always
all the
fun.
listeners speak Creole.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
But yeah, it's just that's been great. I mean, the days that we can't bring him over for whatever reason, again we'll keep him.
Mm-hmm.
We have our shifts with him. I will say, depending on the age, he's a little different.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when he was now that he can walk and he's touching everything, it's definitely hard to stay with him, and because he's into everything.
Mm-hmm.
When he was more of a not toddler, but that pre-toddler stage where he just sits there. Some days would be pretty simple because give him his food, put him down for a nap, and that's it.
Yeah,
you
but
just take
now
your
he's
shifts.
at the age where you're lucky if he does. Like, look at he's falling. He fell asleep now in the
Right.
middle of the podcast. This is his first nap today.
Wow.
Like, that's ridiculous. Whereas when he was younger, he was napping twice a day for like 2.5 hours each time.
So now, when the second baby comes, how's it gonna be?
I don't know.
We have no idea.
It's
the beauty
like
of
a new, adjustment.
Oh
Yeah, it's a
it's
new
gonna be a
adjustment.
whole new dynamic. So
So, and even if you have a job too, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
When a new baby comes, it's like, okay, how do I get to work? What time do I go? Can I switch my shift? Will my boss let me? Who's picking up? Who's dropping off from daycare? It's the same struggle. It's the same, just different avenues.
So, like, with being entrepreneurs, it's not, it's not a set schedule. So, like, what's the work-life balance? Like, what do you have, like, office hours? Like, how do you guys...
we actually have a set schedule.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty intentional with how we work.
You kind of have to.
Yeah, like I think that a lot of people think of entrepreneurship as glamorous in the sense that you can just do whatever, whenever.
You don't gotta work for men.
In all honesty,
you cannot do whenever you can. I tried it the first time I quit. I was like, I'm gonna have a beer at 12. I'm gonna go work by the pool. It doesn't work.
No.
Like it gets you lazy real quick.
So we're pretty intentional with how we set our schedules. Like, even for us to talk to each other about certain things, we'll even schedule a time on our calendar to go over certain things with each other.
Nice.
So you have to.
Yeah.
You have to. That's why we drop them off at the same time every single day.
Yeah.
Get back into the office at the same time every day. Have lunch at the same time every day. Well, at least we try to. Life happens.
But I will say, I mean, that because we work for ourselves, there is a flexibility of we can change it anytime we want.
Of course.
You know, we can. There's been weeks where I've worked my tail off from Monday through Thursday, and Friday I'm like, I'm not working today. I'm gonna work Saturday.
Nice.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So there is that freedom to kind of, you know, although you have to set a schedule, you can kind of switch it up, kind of whenever you want, or you know, especially having a child. You know, child gets sick. You know what I mean? It's that your job will most likely still tell you, I'm sorry, you still got to come into work.
Yeah.
We have the freedom of, you know, hey, just being with my baby and taking care of him, and then I'll take care of work later on tonight. You know, of course, it depends on what you do. You know, I can work any hour of the day. All I need is a computer. So there is that flexibility about it. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. And I guess, like, keeping him on a schedule every day, too, would help for his future, like, as far as schooling or however you guys are going about that.
I mean, you got to keep him on schedules regardless of whether you're an entrepreneur or not. That's just baby life. Like, you have to, or else they will drive you crazy. Like, you have to put him in bed at a certain time.
You have to have some sort of a routine.
Yeah.
And I remember you saying on Facebook something about homeschooling. So is that an option for you guys?
It's an option.
We've explored.
It's an option. I mean, we're not set on it, but it's an option. I mean, although we know that there's some great schools out there.
Especially around here, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the public school system. It's just one of those. It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
You know, so but in light of what's been going on in our schools the past few years, I mean, that option has kind of, you know, it's starting to sound a little bit nicer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, of course, we'd have to do more research because I honestly don't know how it works completely. You know, but it's an option. Of course, we've got, 3 years until he gets there, so we're kind of not worried about it too much just yet, but we know we have time. But it's an option for us, definitely.
Yeah. And, you know, you brought up stuff that's happening today in light of everything in our country and our world. Have you guys had, like, conversations in regards to, like, raising two future black men in the times we're in? And do you somehow incorporate it to your conversations with him? Because I know he's not going to understand. But
no, but I will say it scares the hell out of me.
Yeah.
It's scary, bro.
It's extremely scary. And I don't even know how to begin, like, when he gets of age, like, how to even start that conversation with him. Like, how he needs to carry himself 20 times better than his white friends and peers simply because he's black. Yeah. Or, you know, just his experience with certain people, how it's going to be different. It's scary. I don't know how else to explain.
I think for me, it finally hit me when I found out that I'm having another boy. Because now I kind of, you know, I'm kind of picturing in the future them two walking home from school.
Or just driving in a car together.
You know, just doing what boys do, just clowning around. And I'm like, yo, what if they get pulled over? What if a neighbor sees them and thinks they look suspicious?
You know, it actually...
You know, like, I think that's when it hit me. And I'm like,
the one time it really, really hit me. I don't mean to interrupt. I remember, so when he was an infant, George used to love going... They had their little Georgie boy mornings together. And they would go on walks. And George would carry him in the baby carrier and go on walks. Now, for those who don't know what my husband looks like, he has a beard. Okay? He's a dark man with a beard. So I got scared one day. I don't know why I randomly thought, oh my God, there is a black guy walking around our community with a full beard and a random black thing strapped around his body.
Looks like a book bag, maybe.
Like, what if somebody gets freaked out by it, not even realize that he's not ISIS, he's just a regular black Haitian American guy, and the black thing strapped around his body is a baby in a carrier. Like, for some reason, that thought, like, really messed with me.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm pregnant, y'all.
Hormones.
It's
scary though.
It is scary, and like I said, it doesn't hit you until you have your own.
Yeah,
that's when.
For sure.
Like me, I'm not gonna lie. I never. In the neighborhood I grew up in North Miami, I mean, I never really experienced any racism like that. Everybody's black or Latino. Like it.
Yeah.
Never had to worry about anything.
We used to walk around all the time.
Yeah, we knew what was going on around us, but we were like, it's it's in Miami in general. It's just like you don't have to worry too much about that because we're just so diverse, But when Parkland happened, I'm like, man, this is too close.
Yeah.
Of course, that's not racial, but just in total of all the things that are going on, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, there are still cops out there who still look at young black boys as a threat.
Yeah.
And it hits you. You start to think about, like, how am I going to introduce him to that? Like, I have no idea.
I remember one time we were like at a restaurant, I think Panera, and of course he's a baby now, so everybody's always like, oh my God, he's so cute, and this and that. And I remember telling George, I'm just like, he's cute now because he's a baby, but as he gets older, people are going to see him as more and more of a threat just because he's a black boy. Yeah. Like, I think that is just crazy.
And it's disappointing. Like, a second ago, we mentioned how, you're a black boy, so you got to carry yourself, twice as hard, work twice as hard. I remember my dad telling me that. Yeah. Back in 1980, whenever. We're in 2018. We still have to do this?
Yeah. Right.
That's the disappointing part. Yeah. And I'm like, I hope that I don't have to I hope I don't have to give him that advice when he's 20. But the way things are going, it's like, do I still have to tell him he has to work twice as hard? Right. In 20,
well, he have to tell
in 2030, whatever the year is, like, we still have to do this? Yeah. It sucks. You know what I mean? Yeah, but it's something that we definitely talk about. Yeah. We wish we had the answers on how to do it. But I don't know.
And as hard and like painful as it is, do you think like being a Haitian couple and knowing your history, and being involved in your organization, you mentioned he was an alpha. Like, do you think that helps you like to be more prepared for those future conversations with them?
I think so, because you have a background to lean on.
Right.
You have something to be proud of. You know where you come from. Making a comparison to some of my African American friends, where we've had conversations, about the black struggle and where we come from, and I remember that there's been times where I'm just like, well, if things get really bad, I'm gonna just go to Haiti. Like, my dad's over there. I got a house, whatever. I'm out. We got our own people. Yeah, I have to get used to a whole new setting, but I know I've got something in my history to go to. Right. And my black American friend said, well, that's cool, that's you, but what about us? The black Americans, the one who were, I mean, we all got, carried over from a ship, but
we all just had different stops on the ship.
They have no clue. At least we have somewhere to kind of go to. Right. Whether you're from Haiti or Jamaica or the Bahamas, wherever, you have somewhere that you can still call your own. Yeah. But the American African diaspora, they don't. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, being Haitian, our parents being from where they're from, I think it definitely helps. Yeah. Especially for the future case to, start a conversation with him and let him know, let our kids know, hey, this is where you're from. This is where your ancestors are from. So be proud. You've got something to hold your head up. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So, like, in that same vein, like, because I do think there's something to the immigrant struggle and motivation. How are you going to instill that in him? Because he's, once again, like, first generation, like, two parents who were born here, and like, how do you keep them connected? Because I feel like being Haitian American, like the son of a first generation like Haitian, like I had to work hard because my parents worked so hard. The more it goes down, it gets a little less. But I mean, how how do we keep that intensity? Because I feel like it motivated me growing up.
I think, you know, I don't even know how to. I'm not sure. I think
just keep them aware.
Yeah, just educate them.
Just keep telling them, hey, this is where your ancestors are from. Here, you know, instead of going to ancestry.com, we're able to just
go to
verbally tell them. These are your grandparents. Here, you know, take them to Haiti. These are where your grandparents are from. You know, here's where your parents are from. You know, kind of, you know, start the trail, start the family tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and this is what slavery did. Yeah. You know, it destroyed our history as far as how we can trace back where we're from. You know what I mean? And you saw how long it lasted. But, you know, with the evolution of the internet, with technology and stuff, now we're kind of able to find out something. You know what I mean? Like in your old podcast with the DNA testing, you're able to find out something.
Yeah.
So take that, have long conversation with your parents, with your grandparents if they're still alive, aunts, uncles.
I think that's the biggest thing for me. It was grandparents.
Pass it down.
My grandparents.
That's all you can do is pass it down. Pass it down.
Hey man, you know, Haitians.
Pass it down and
growing up in a
empower.
Haitian family, sometimes you're more afraid of that grandparent than that parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's another big one. Just having grandparents. If you're blessed enough to have, you know, luckily he has all four still alive.
That's true.
You know,
That's
our
a
sons have all four, and you know, I hope that their grandparents are very involved and keep them very icy.
Tell your kids stories. Tell them, like, I plan on telling him everything.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I know, everything, you know, just to kind of show our history and where we're from.
Yeah.
Even the history of being from North Miami.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell them, North Miami, man. This is what we used to do. This is what we did.
Your mom's from Palmetto, man.
It
doesn't sound so cool. Sorry.
Do you think that's also why you continued, like, the George name in the family, or not really?
I think that was my idea.
Oh.
Once we got married, I always knew my first child was going to be a boy. He's going to look like George, and I'm going to name him George. He's going to be the third. I don't know why. I never thought of another name.
3 for 3 right there.
And I wasn't even thinking about, like,
for me, I didn't
think
care
about that,
way.
like, as far as like lineage and
I mean, she made me feel a little bit more like, you need to pass it down. Your dad's a George, you're a George. Why not keep going? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, just keep it going. Keep it going.
Now, how did you guys come up with this new name?
Elijah Malik Etienne.
And what are we calling him? Eli
for short.
I like that.
I really don't know. Well, one day we were just sitting here in the kitchen counter and we were just going through names, just through like biblical names and African names and going through meanings and stuff like that. And then for some reason I was like, well, what about Elijah? And then
I wanted Malachi.
He wanted Malachi.
Oh, those are both strong names.
Yeah.
I like Malachi.
I think what really got me was when we went to Palm Bay and we told your mom, you know, we're thinking of the name Elijah, and then your mom told us the whole biblical story. Like, she knew it off the top of her head and wrote down
every,
you know, the book, the chapter, the verses.
The prophet, yes.
And I was just like, okay, we don't have a choice now. It's Elijah. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
And the middle name Malik, I just like the name. It sounds, you know, I looked it up.
It sounds black.
It's actually, when I look up the history, it's actually more of a Muslim name.
Yeah.
That history's, but I just like that. I like the meaning. Yeah. So.
Yeah. As
good.
No, kind of in the same vein too. Is like, do you guys think about when you pick the name? Like, you know how people say like, oh, that doesn't look good on like a resume. Like, is it? Does that not even cross your mind?
I didn't care.
It shouldn't. I just wanted to
We
say.
didn't care. We didn't care.
I picked a name based on whether or not I liked it or not. That was it.
Like, we
I
didn't
did not care.
Now, as far as like your relationship while parenting, how do you guys make time for like even your self-care and your hobbies, your date nights, your travels? How do you
schedule date nights?
Okay.
Every Thursday.
It's on the calendar.
Every week.
Thursday?
Wow, that's
every
good.
Thursday. Yeah. And we do Thursdays because we know during the day he's most likely with my mom or my cousins or somebody, so it'll be a lot easier for us to just keep him there so we can just do date night. And then the weekend, you know, we spend time with family, friends, and other things may come up. So as far as self-care, for me personally, it was really hard. I have to be very intentional with putting myself together and stuff, because I don't have the natural desire to while I'm a mom. Like, I'm just like, no, there's so many more other important things I can be doing than trying to put these lashes on, child. So
sweatpants, hair tie.
Hey, these great sweats I have on right now.
You gotta. I don't want to say you have to use. I don't want to say you have to force it, but you have to
be very intentional with it,
because you can. I mean, a baby can just take away
everything.
Not in a bad way, but before you know it, you let yourself go.
Yeah,
before you know it. And I didn't think it was possible. I remember saying, like, man, I don't know how people let themselves go when they have kids.
No,
and then I had one, and I'm like, I haven't got a haircut in a while because I've just been busy and take care of him. And by the time he finally goes to bed at night, I'm ready to pass out.
Yeah.
I don't care what I look like. You know what I mean? So you got to be intentional with it. You got to be, like my wife mentioned, you got to, when it comes to spending time with each other, you have to just set that time apart.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we made it mandatory that on Thursday nights, it's date night.
Nice.
There's been times, even if we don't go anywhere, even if we're just going to sit on that couch, turn on Netflix and just watch something, it's intentional. We have to, because life will get in the way and it'll just take up your time. Your child would take up your time. We were with each other first before the baby.
Yeah.
Some people love to say, "Oh no, the baby's first now. The child, I love them more than I love my spouse now." And I remember hearing a pastor talk about this on Facebook many years ago. I don't remember who it was, but I remember he said that you should always love your spouse more than your child.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of mothers do not agree with that, but the pastor made a good point. I said, well, your child leaves eventually. They leave the nest.
Yeah.
And then what? You just spent 20 years ignoring your spouse. Your child's gone. And now you're wondering why your spouse just doesn't pay attention to you, doesn't care about you. It's just non-existent. It's like, nah, you better love your spouse because they were there first. You can't love them, can't love your child without loving your spouse first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just have to. I mean, you got to keep the flame going.
Yeah.
So.
And to take it like a level deeper, I mean, just that whole idea of marriage, it's the last covenant that we have left on this earth. The covenant between a man and his wife. Mm-hmm. And it's not to be disturbed, even by a child.
Yeah.
Right.
Very true.
And that's why it's so important to keep that relationship, because I mean, if once that's strong, I feel like things tend to feed off of that, and it'll bleed over into other parts of you guys' life and his life, and he'll see it and he should respect it. Like, it's something like, if he disrespects his mom, as a dad, it's like, you didn't just disrespect your mom, you disrespected my wife.
Yeah.
And if anybody disrespects my wife, you're gonna feel it.
This is true.
He's like, nope, I'm sleeping.
No, it's true, man. I totally agree with it, and I think it's something that has kind of been lost, in relationships and marriages of today. You know what I mean? Especially when kids come in the way. I mean, they're a great distraction. Don't get me wrong.
It's amazing.
You know what I mean? But you cannot forget about your spouse. You took, you gave your spouse, your vows for a reason.
Right.
Your child should not be the reason why it just ends.
Yeah.
Because again, your child will leave your nest at some point.
Yeah.
And then what? You turn to your wife and go, "Hey, remember me?" Like, nah,
I'm back.
So make time. You always got to, set aside that date night or date day, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Vacation whenever. You have to.
Now, when you're on those dates, are your conversations mainly about the kids, or do you have to force?
No, we don't. I mean, we don't go that deep into forcing. The only thing we go deep as far as we need to spend time with each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. After that, everything would just kind of happen naturally. If we want to talk about Don the whole date, fine, so be it. At least we did it without him being there.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we did it with just us two, us just spending time with each other.
Yeah.
So,
as outsiders, I'd say personally, I love you guys' relationship.
Appreciate it. We're not perfect now. We're not perfect.
No.
And we're still learning. We're trying to figure it out still.
Yeah.
And I mean, hopefully you guys follow them. We'll put their socials and everything after. But if you do follow them, you'll notice they do this thing with their son. It's called Daily Dose of Dumb. And I love it, right? So we have the new baby, And I came up with the hashtag. We're not going to let it out too soon. But when you see it, know that's me. So, all right.
I'm so self-conscious. That's why you always see me with at least one of my watches. Rollies and Porsches that drove me crazy. I can't even pronounce nothing past that for safety.
Okay, so for the listener matters question, the first one comes from I'm my brother. It doesn't matter. Do you guys think it's possible for women and men to just be friends?
No.
I like that.
Straight up.
No.
Is that as simple as that?
Okay, I think that women and men can be cordial.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know, maybe because I'm a woman, I just feel like
And a woman in a relationship.
My mom always told me this. She's always said that a woman and a man, they could be friends. They can't be best friends.
No.
Facts. Yeah.
No.
And I said, I agree with that.
Agree.
I agree with a woman and a man can never be...
Girl, you better get
They can never be best friends without one or both, at least at some point,
getting feelings for the other.
catching some feelings with it.
Yeah.
Or attraction
You know,
or something.
What happens after that if, the person actually, lets the other know and the other one says, nah, we're just going to be friends? They can remain friends, but at that point, they've, it's already kind of gotten uncomfortable. So
No,
personally, I don't believe, unless one is gay or lesbian, then maybe it can work out.
Could be. Yeah, I feel like you could be friendly. Like there are different levels of friendship too. So like if you have a female friend that you talk to like once every 3 months,
Then that's fine.
then that's cool. Like
Cool.
and even if you just like text like, hey, what's up? Life's good. Okay, cool. And that's it. Like to me, that's not how I am with my friends.
Right.
But I mean, I don't really have any male friends, so my answer as well is no.
My male friends are his friends.
Yeah, exactly.
My female friends are her friends.
Right.
Right. So
Same.
I think it's something I matured into. Because when I was in like college, like I was like, yeah, what do you mean? Of course I could be friends with people of the opposite. And then I, kind of grew up and I thought about it. I was like, Jack's like, oh, I'm chilling with my friend. I was like, oh, what's her name? I mean, she says, I was like, hey.
Also, too, sometimes it's not just about, the two people just being friends. What is the outside world thinking?
Right.
Yeah.
I know everybody says, oh, you shouldn't care what other people say. Like, well, yeah, but when you're married to somebody and you hanging out with your homegirl, and then my wife's homegirl texts her and says, yo, I see George with...
Yep.
And it happens.
And I'll be the first person.
And it happens.
Even if she knows that, oh no, that's just his friend.
I am a snitch.
Eventually, it just won't be good for the marriage because now you have a bunch of outside sources coming in saying, oh, I seen this, I seen that, and it can just lead to
messiness. That's not necessary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
hey. Okay. Our next question is, well, we'll keep her anonymous. But she goes, hi, Jackie and Jocks. I have a few family members that consistently ask for money. I'm a single woman making good money and in a good place in my life, so part of me feels bad when I tell them no. On the other hand, I have one credit debt left to pay off by the end of the year, and my family still hasn't paid me back in full. How can I say no to my own family when I know they struggle? How do you handle this if you've ever been in this situation?
Ooh.
I'll answer last.
You can answer that.
First of all, shout out to you for like paying your debt off by the end of the year.
Yeah, for real.
I don't think you should feel bad if this is a consistent thing.
Right.
Clearly, they're having their own problems with budgeting what they have, and you're doing your part in budgeting what you have. Like, I don't know. My mom always told me if one of your cousins or one of your friends or whoever asks you for money, don't expect it back. Like, if they ask you to borrow money, just give it to them if you want to give it to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Or just say, hey, I can't do that, but I could give you this. Like, I can't give you 50, but I can give you 20, or but don't expect it back. So that's what I've carried.
I mean, I think the other thing too is like, how much are they asking?
That's true.
Like, I had a cousin one time. This guy asked me for $5,000,
just like that,
and thought that I would just
here.
Oh, well, of course.
Today.
Yeah, talking about he had to pay off a credit card. And he wanted a BlackBerry at the time. So he wanted a BlackBerry and to pay off a credit card.
Long time ago.
Yeah, this is a long time ago, okay? Long time ago, okay?
Sidekick.
And I told him no, and that is the last time that he ever spoke to me. So when it comes to money...
He wasn't real family.
No. I think that you have to be very careful when it comes to money and people. And I'm not saying not to help people. Like,
right.
I've definitely given money to family and friends and stuff like that, but there just needs to be some boundaries.
Yeah.
When the same person's asking you over and over again, it's like maybe they're just taking advantage of you,
and they still haven't paid you back.
and they still haven't paid you back, or and the other thing too is like, what do they need it for? Like,
right?
Again, I'm not saying not to help, but I don't believe in putting myself in a hole because you can't manage your finances. I'm just saying. And
you have your own things happening.
Yeah.
Like,
take care of your household first.
Yes.
Right.
That's
in all things.
In all things.
Before I let anybody borrow money, of course I'm a big giver, so I don't mind giving. But I need to make sure before I say, I could let you borrow this $50, I gotta go, okay, does he have diapers for the week?
Right.
Is there food in the fridge?
Got his snacks
for the week? Are our bills paid? You know what I mean? Is internet paid? Because I gotta work. If all that's paid and I have a little extra that I know won't hurt me, because like you said, you give with the intention of I'm not gonna get it back. Then cool. Here's a gift. If I have my responsibilities and they're crucial responsibilities like food and rent and livelihood, then I can't do it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
The only people that will get that will get a pass on that, mom, dad, my sister.
That's it.
Them, I will be late on rent for them because of what they mean to me or what my parents have done for me.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll
immediate family.
Family, because that's a certain type of love that you just that's just
Yeah.
But outside of that,
because they do it for you.
They would do it for you.
Do it for you.
You know what I mean? So,
I guess to answer her question, how would I deal with it? I guess, you know your finances. You know what you can afford to do. You know what you can't afford to do. If it's not like a life or death situation for someone who, maybe just mismanaged or they didn't save enough, like, I don't think that responsibility is on you.
Right.
Don't feel like it's on you. And I would say just, kind of find the best way to say it, the nicest way to say it. But, after that, it's, I think you can wash your hands of it. Yeah. But if you do have it, because that's kind of, I'm not saying we have it, but, like, I don't have a problem giving money to people.
Yeah. My thing is I always want to know what
for.
Yeah. Right. What do you need it for? And, why are we the ones that you're coming to? You know what I mean? Like, if I know that you have a family, you have parents, you have, like, why? Because you know that he's going to give it to you. That's
why. My family was always the type to always get asked, right? So people were always coming to us. And it was... I guess maybe that's why I'm very like harsh about it now. I'm just like,
thank
God, like I know, like I'm so sorry, like I wouldn't let someone starve, like no, you understand? I'm not saying that, but don't tell me that you need money for your car note, but I just saw that you were out of town,
right,
on a trip. Like don't come at me. That was your bad. That is you not managing your finances.
And those are typically the people who ask.
Right. Those are the ones
you know what I mean?
Like you for money.
It's sad because, like, that's me, right? I don't want to say I get disrespected, but like,
he's a nice guy.
I am to a fault. Like, I'm just thinking about a conversation. Like, it's a while ago I gave someone money, and she asked for money to eat. She was in college, it's a family member, and I was like, yeah, come on, man. I understand. The calf clothes. I'm gonna send you some money. You can go get something to eat. And then I don't remember what social it was, but I seen her and her boyfriend that I do not like eating off of my money.
Ooh, the boyfriend.
And I sent her a text. I was like, so I bought him food too. And I was like, all right, but like,
and I was against giving the money I understand, like, you know, the food, food is not that expensive. Like, what we gave was not much, but you're in college. You have a whole meal plan. A whole entire meal.
The calf was closed, though.
That's fine. That's when you take your to-go box back to your dorm or wherever you're living and prepare for dinner because you know you like to eat late. Like, you know what I mean? So,
like, people like,
I don't know, that
person and like my brother, even though sometimes they're a little, you know,
your brother gets a pass.
No, but yeah, but like, because I can resonate back to when I was in those situations and I know how I felt.
Yeah.
So like that's why sometimes, even though I know it may not be the most financially smart decision, like I get it. Like, you know, my dad used to send us to the youth fair with like $20. Like that's disrespectful. So like when he did it to my brother, it's like I gotta give him some money. Like, come on. So yeah, I'm
that's
soft,
just out
I'm
of like
with money.
he didn't ask you. That's just out of the
Sometimes
kind of
I mean, it's a touchy subject.
It is.
But I don't know. It's just.
I just think
every
who's
situation is
asking,
different.
How many times are they
Yeah.
asking? What do they need it for? Are they just
How
using
much?
and abusing you?
Yeah.
That's it. Some
Because
people really do have life going on and they need help. I
Yeah.
get that. And then other people are just
wilding out.
and expect for you to fund their life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So I would just take care of you first.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Sure.
And if you give it, it's a gift, not a loan.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look at it as,
Yeah.
as a loan.
But like also another thing that this financial person that I listen to sometimes, he says, you know, why would you fund, like let's say this person was an alcoholic and they were asking for money for alcohol. Would you fund and, you know, their abuse of that? That's pretty much the same thing. Like if they're, you know, using your money and their money, like
the boyfriend.
for the boyfriend and not budgeting correctly.
Yeah, we're
And
helping them mismanage even more.
Yeah.
right.
So
That's true.
You're
I like
condoning
that.
their behavior.
I like that.
So-
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I like that.
All right.
business spotlight.
Yes.
All right.
It all falls down. I'm telling you, it all falls down.
All right. So the business spotlight for this episode, it's actually two businesses. The first one is Chandra Etienne Group. And she is obviously here with us, but she's a realtor. She has, a YouTube channel for tips on how to buy your first home, how to buy, any home or any property for that matter. She is always answering our stupid questions when it comes to buying property.
Once the podcast is finished.
Yes. Yeah, we have some things to talk
I don't know if
about.
her office hours are open. So.
Oh, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, she's always there, answers emails quickly. I'm like, does this girl ever sleep? Super reliable, an amazing realtor, and she will find you the deal that you need. So I'm going to have her talk a little bit about, what she does and how you can contact her.
Okay, well, like she mentioned, I'm a realtor. I've been in the real estate business since about 2009. And I primarily focus on residential sales. So single family homes, townhouses, condos, things like that. I do not tend to do rentals. However, on occasion I will. It depends on the situation and the person's budget and location. I'll consider those. But I definitely like to educate my clients to make sure that they're making the right decision, the right purchase, or selling their home at the right time and stuff like that, to make sure that everything that they're doing in the transaction is based on facts,
Right.
and making sure that they're looked out for the best way possible. So that's basically what I do. You can find me on all social media networks, basically, at Chandra Etienne. And should I give my phone number? I don't know.
No.
Probably not.
We'll put her website
Yeah,
and everything.
ChandraEtienne.com. Yeah, ChandraEtienne.com. Also, my YouTube channel, I have a lot more videos coming up. I also just put up a whole home buying 101 series that basically breaks down everything that happens during the home buying process.
Yes.
And so yeah, if you're a first time home buyer, I'm sure you find that to be very informational and educational and useful. So yeah, at Chandra Etienne and chandraetienne.com.
And to brag on her a little bit, I don't know what everybody's first time home buying experience was like, but I feel like ours was a breeze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Look at that testimony.
Yeah. Like I feel like we looked at like 3 properties. We made an offer on one, and that's the one we got. Like it just flowed
like right away. Yeah.
So
yeah.
And our other business spotlight,
yes, is 84 Studios. So obviously he's here as well, and he does graphic design. If you need a logo, I know a lot of you guys use filters, so you know that North Miami filter that people used. He did that.
Yeah, George did that.
Yeah, so shout out to him.
I've definitely used that one a few times.
Yeah, flyers. I believe you did the one for the Ankara fashion show. I always see like on your social media different flyers and events going on. So, I mean, both of these businesses are like perfect for the millennial today. You know, you need a logo because everyone's starting a business. You need a home because everybody wants to buy a home. So let me let him brag on 84 Studios for a little bit.
Thank you. Once again, it's 84 Studios. You can visit my website at 84studios.net. That's number 84studios.net. I specialize in logo and brand identity and web design. I consider myself not a graphic designer, but a design strategist. I like to
talk to him.
I like to make sure that whatever design I'm creating for my clients, that it speaks to their business. Because if not, it's just a drawing on a piece of paper. So get in touch with me. Once again, 84studios.net. All my social media links are there as well.
Nice.
With your logos and stuff, is like any job too small or
no?
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, because I feel like people are intimidated like with things like that. Like, nah, just reach out. You never know.
Just reach out to me. I mean, I'll have my standards, but again, I like to strategize with whoever I'm speaking to. I need to find out your goals, your target market, and with that, I come up with a design for you. Again, your logo, your flyer, your media deck, your website, whatever it is, it needs to have a business goal. It needs to somehow, some way, either directly or indirectly, make you money.
Right.
So that's always a goal.
Yeah, and he's also answered a lot of my website questions that I've had. So yeah, I always reach out to a professional, and he is a professional. As far as like your logo, he's gonna know what format your logo should be in for your website or for your flyer. What you need for the different media outlets that you're using. So definitely hit him up.
Yeah.
And
use discount code. No. No discounts.
No.
All right. Well, that was fun.
Thank you for joining us.
All right.
All right.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Bye.
When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That you might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That you might work, ayy. That you might work. That you might work.